morning, everyone. I'm Mary Jo Larson, publisher with Franchise Times Magazine, and I'd like to welcome you to this month's Franchise Investment Show. We are so glad that you took time out of your day to be with us. The Franchise Investment Show is an opportunity for you, our audience, to get the inside scoop on various franchise brands. It's their chance to show you their business case, their outlook, and their growth plans. This month, we are so pleased to have with us Angry Crab Shack, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Twin Peaks, and Hothead Burritos. And before we get started, a couple of housekeeping items of note. Throughout the presentations, we encourage you to submit questions by clicking the button at the right of the video feed, and our presenters will get back to you via email. And to learn more about our speakers, please visit the speaker button at the bottom of the page as well. So as promised, during each episode of the Franchise Investment Show, we start out by interviewing a franchise expert to give you more information on the franchise landscape. Today, we are so pleased to have with us Kamal Singh, president of Emerge Brands. He's being interviewed by Franchise Times editor-in-chief, Laura Michaels. Laura and Kamal, welcome.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this month's Franchise Investment Show. I'm Laura Michaels. I'm the editor of Franchise Times, and I am very excited to have with me today Kamal Singh, who is someone that, for readers of our magazine, might recognize him from the cover of our June issue. Kamal is the founder and CEO of Emerge Inc., which is a large multi-unit franchisee of KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Sonic Drive-In, and maybe another brand before too long. We shall see. He has more than 130 restaurants and is based down in Houston. So welcome, Kamal. Thank you for being here.
Laura, thank you for having me. First and foremost, I want to give you a shout out and the team at Franchise Times for an amazing piece that you did in the June edition. Thank you for making us look larger than life. We had a lot of fun doing the shoot, and I think you did an amazing job. So again, thank you very much for highlighting our organization and our people.
Well, it was a pleasure, and we'll dig into, some of what we covered in that story. And for those of you that haven't read it, you should hop on to franchisetimes.com and read that story, because it was a delight to visit with you and Mick down in Houston.
Yep.
So to start with, I'd love to have you share, for those that don't know, just a little bit about your background and how you've gone from running that single Lenny's Subs store to now being in 4 different major brands.
Yeah, so Laura, my background is actually in finance. I graduated from University of Houston in 2009, worked at a couple of the big 4, Deloitte and Touche, Ernst & Young. And, very quickly I found out that I'm just not built for the corporate grind day in and day out. And the second thing I quickly found out was that I don't have the patience to continue to move up in the corporate America that it takes. And I was in my early 20s, and I felt that if there was ever a chance to get into your own business, to take a chance in life, that's probably the right time, right? At the early 20s, I didn't have a lot of responsibilities, and usually when you think about getting into your own business, franchising usually comes to your mind. So I've sort of fell into franchising in desperation. I was looking for freedom. I wanted to get something on my own. And at that time, fortunately or unfortunately, there were about 7 to 8 Lenny's sub shop that were going in bankruptcy in and around Houston. And I felt that was my chance to get into in my own business, find that freedom I was looking for. And the franchisor at that time wanted $25,000. They were simply looking for operators to come in and run those restaurants. I was fortunate enough to land one Lenny's. Initially it was tough, right? I signed, looking back at that deal, the restaurant was losing over $100,000. I signed a long-term lease. I signed a personal guarantee. But sometimes ignorance is bliss, right? I didn't have that due diligence list that we have today. But anyways, jumped right into the business. First 4 to 6 months were extremely difficult. I remember, in our business, you need working capital. I had all the money that I had saved up was $25,000 that went into acquiring the business. So I put in a lot of hours the first couple of months building that working capital. Turned that business around. We were up 60, 70% year over year in the first few months. I got involved in the community, did a lot of catering. Um, it was a lunch business, so didn't really have a whole lot of dinner, just one day part. Did well there. And there was another franchisee nearby that wasn't doing well, and the brand reached out and said, "Look, hey, you've done well at this particular restaurant. We'd like you to get a deal done there. How can we help?" Was able to buy that restaurant for fairly decent price. Within the span of 12 months now, I had two restaurants. And I turned that restaurant, similar story to the first restaurant, turned that business around. And about 18 to 20 months later, I sold both of those restaurants for a fairly decent price. And I looked at the wealth that I was able to create within the first couple of years, just building and selling those restaurants. And I looked at what I had created. If I had worked in my accounting job, it would have taken me almost a decade to put that wealth together. So I knew at that time there was something here, and I needed to continue to just pursue this career. But not every day you find restaurants in bankruptcy, or you've got to find a deal. So then, I would go visit restaurants, and if I saw an opportunity where I thought a franchisee is not involved in their business, in their operations, I would get access to FDD for that particular brand and just cold call that franchisee. Unfortunately, Laura, from about 2009 to 2015, I was able to land a lot of the deals. I don't know if you see the shirts in the background. Those are the actual shirts that I've worn that you saw when you were here, visited our corporate office. I was able to land brands such as, obviously Lenny's the first one. There was a local concept called Burritos, Cinnabons, Auntie Anne's, Baskin Robbins, and I was able to buy these restaurants for a decent price. Was able to fix them and then flip them for a better price than I had bought it for. So that's how I sort of put the capital together to get into the bigger brands. I started attending multi-unit franchise conference RFDC in 2013, 2014. That's where I made up my mind that if I wanted to build a business, I wanted to get into the top tier brands, and I wanted to scale in these brands. So the goal always after that was to get into the top tier brands, and I wanted to build something that's scalable. So in 2015, got a chance to buy underperforming KFC, Taco Bells in the Louisiana market. Similar story. Worked that business, sort of made my name within Yum Brands. It was a tough market. Worked my way back in Houston, bought another set of 9 restaurants, KFCs and a couple of KTs, which are KFC Taco Bells. So got a unit count up to 16 restaurants. The first deal was done via an SBA loan. The second deal was done refinancing the first transaction because I had built the business up and I was able to build equity in that business and refinance. So I was able to buy the next set of 9 stores. And our biggest break came in 2017 when we were awarded the corporate market for Sonic Drive-ins. And Laura, I remember we were, 16 restaurants. I was working out of my home office. I was the AP. I was the director of operations. I was doing sales tax, unemployment cases, anything and everything that a smaller franchisee does, right? Now, all of a sudden, we're at 50 restaurants overnight. And this is a real business. We've got thousands of employees that we got to support. So at that time, I started putting a really good team together. Brought on my chief operating officer, Mick Roscoff from Yum Brands. We brought on HR, and I knew at that time if I needed to scale, I need to be able to look at my business on a macro level. And fast forward to 2023, we've added single brand Taco Bells. We've added Pizza Huts to our portfolio. We are closer to over 130 restaurants in 4 different states. We've got another 40 or so restaurants under contract. We plan to be closer to 200 restaurants by year end. It's been a long journey. We're very proud of our history. Very proud of where we came from, humble beginnings, excited about the future. We built a really strong team here at Emerge. And what started off as a way to get out of corporate America, and to supplement the income has turned into a real business. it's turned into a vehicle where we've been able to change many lives throughout this journey.
Yeah, it's really an incredible story, and there's no way that we can detail all of it in the time that we have today. But you did a great job, kind of encapsulating it right there. And you mentioned your approach to, of course, starting with those Lenny's and turning those stores around, purchasing some distressed, challenged KFCs and turning those around. And so I'm curious, going through those experiences, and now as you've matured as an operator, what do you think it is that you do maybe a little bit differently at Emerge that has allowed you to, not only turn those restaurants around, but then continue to have success? One of the things that we had talked about was, of course, your approach to people. And I'd love to have you sort of detail your approach to turning those operations around and that focus on people.
Yeah, Laura, people are our biggest piece. We hear that in our restaurant industry, right? And when I think about why Emerge has been successful, it's solely because we've taken care of our three stakeholders. First and foremost, the most important piece is our people, right? Apart from having great culture, great recognition culture, which, by the way, in the past, that used to be optional in our business, but now that's just standard operating procedure. If you aren't doing it, you just won't survive, right? So that I think we do that very well here at Emerge. And I think one of the things that we do well with our people is we always let them know why we're doing what we're doing, right? We've always taken people with us with the growth that we've had. We've always we've always delivered on our promises to our people. And I think what something that we don't forget is, sometimes when you're scaling, when you're operating at the scale that we operate at, you forget that you're actually in the restaurant business, right? So we really truly focus in the four walls. We want to make sure that we have the right GM in place. We want to make sure that they have all the tools and the resources to be successful. We make sure that they have all they have to focus on is just running that restaurant. We help them with staffing. We worry about the little things that you tend to overlook when you're running a large business. So I think we do that really well all the way to down to our general managers. And quite frankly, I think we have some of the best general managers and above restaurant leadership in place. And I think second thing that's worked out and that we've been successful at is brand partnership. And I think that's important, right? uh, Once when we signed that dotted line on the franchise agreement and the brands that we're part of, we're all in. We are all in regards to their marketing initiatives. We're all in regards to development. We are more of a collaborative franchisee. We know that we're part of a system, and we need to make decisions that are better for the entire system versus just being selfish in decisions that are best for us. And we've got great relationships with the leadership teams for all the brands that we're part of. And I think the last thing that's helped us being successful, and that doesn't get talked about often, is uh, our lender partners. I think it's very important that you choose the right lenders from the beginning. And I think we've done that well. We've always chosen lenders that we feel will be around for a long time. We've worked on building strong relationships with them. You know, for us, it's not always about high lever deal with low equity. It's about the lenders that we're comfortable with, that we know that will be there in challenging times like today. And we feel like they can execute for us when there's deal to be done. So when I think about business on a macro level, these are the three things that we really truly focus on. That's really worked for us and helped us where we're at today.
I'm so glad that you articulated that last piece, because that is something that doesn't get discussed quite as much. And to have those relationships to lean on,
Yeah.
when things are difficult, it can make a huge difference in the success of the business. So thank you for
Yep.
that. On that sort of financing side, one of the things that I know that you've been particularly proud of is the ability to grow with your own capital. Can you talk a little bit about that decision, wanting to grow without private equity, without bringing on a lot of outside investors, why that has been so important for you?
Yeah, I don't think it was a choice, Laura. I think people probably didn't think we were good enough to got where we got. So it's not that, I tried and maybe I didn't have a great business plan. And it worked for us, right? I think that's part of our success. Something that I mentioned during our interview as well. We have the ability to make decisions for our people. For example, if I want to, if we're looking at a transaction, I don't have to go to a board to seek approval. If we need to put money back into the business, I don't have to go to our investors to seek approval. You look at the today's times, it's a challenging environment, high interest rate environment. Quite frankly, Laura, we don't have the obligation to pay extra return to investors. We don't have investors. Therefore, we have the ability to put money in our business as we see fit. We have the ability to put the money in our people as we see fit. And I think that's been successful. And we're actually very, very proud of it. It's not a lot of organizations can say that they got with their own. I mean, this business was essentially started with $25,000 from college savings to where we got today. And I can tell you, Laura, today we have enough human and financial capital to double our size from here on out, and we're proud of it. And we plan to stick by it. It just gives us a lot of flexibility and freedom to do what's right for our business versus worrying about another stakeholder that may not have the best interest. And that model works for others, but it's just we've it's worked for us in the past, and we plan to continue that path.
You do. Well, yeah, the growth that you have coming your way even more is, definitely some information I'll be interested in learning more about when those next deals close. So thank you for kind of teasing that a little bit. Before we wrap up, I wanted to get your thoughts, as someone who has been in several different brands, and of course, keeping in mind our audience today, are people that are listening in to evaluate some of our presenting brands that are coming up next. So when you consider which brand you might be looking at next or expanding in one of your existing brands, what are some of your considerations and some key pieces for you when you're thinking about that next group?
Yeah, I think, look, unit level economics matter. That's there, right? That's any franchisee, you have to do your due diligence. I think the biggest piece, Laura, is that you do your due diligence with the brand that you want to be part of. I can't stress that enough. You want to make sure that, sometimes, these franchise agreements are 20, 25 years long. Sometimes they last longer than your marriage, right? So you want to make sure that you partner up with, you pick the right brand and the brands, and you trust the brand's ability to continue to innovate, spend the marketing dollars that they commit that they will continue to spend that marketing dollars to bring traffic to your restaurants. So I think if I was to give somebody an advice, evaluate the brand, make sure that it is the brand for long term. The brand has positioned themselves to be a leader in their category, and also look at the partnership that the brand has with its franchisees. I've been doing this for 10, 12 years now, and so far I've never come across a franchisor that does not want the best for their franchisee. But there are some, right? So you want to make sure that the franchisor wants the best for their franchisee. It's more of a partnership. They have the pipeline for menu innovation. They're spending a lot of money on the marketing, and the most important piece, how are they treating their franchisees?
Yep, without a doubt. I think, talking to existing franchisees in a system is one of the most important contributors to, how to evaluate the brand that I constantly hear from franchisees. But then it also is amazing how many people don't talk to a bunch of existing franchisees if they can. So that is definitely a point to emphasize.
Yep.
Well, with that, we are just about out of time for our interview here, Kamal. I want to thank you again so much for taking some additional time after you and I had already spent several hours together for that reporting piece. I really appreciate your insight, your expertise, and look forward to seeing what you and Emerge do next. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for having me.
And to that audience, stick around. We've got our 4 presenting brands coming up next. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamal and Laura. That was a great discussion. We appreciate you both being with us today. And now on to our first presentation today from a franchisor, Hot Head Burritos. We are joined by Kelly Gray and Ray Wiley. Kelly and Ray, take it away.
sure you've had burritos before, but you've never had anything like Hothead. We've got burritos, bowls, tacos, nachos, quesadillas, and more. Choose from 14 amazing sauces to customize your meal. Get more flavors, get more options, get more at Hothead Burritos.
Did that make you even hungrier for a franchise opportunity? Welcome to this special presentation of Hothead Burritos Franchise Opportunity. I'm Ray Wiley, co-founder and president of Hothead Burritos, and I'm joined here today by our Vice President, Kelly Gray.
Hi everyone, we're really excited to share an incredible opportunity with all of you who are actively looking for food-related franchise opportunities. Hothead Burritos is ready to spice up your business journey.
I've had experience in multiple franchises brands. I was a franchisee of the largest sandwich brand in the world for nearly 30 years. I've learned a lot in those 30 years. Then in 2007, I used that knowledge to create an amazing franchise brand focused on understanding the franchisee. As a franchisor of Hothead Burritos, we operate 12 corporate stores, noted as affiliate stores in our FDD, the Franchise Document Disclosure, plus an additional 8 stores we are partners in with my brothers. Altogether, we have ownership in about 20 stores, which means we understand ownership. Having ownership in 20 stores, we're very focused on day-to-day operations, simplicity of operations, and profitability. We are franchisee friendly, and we treat our franchisees as business partners, focused on helping them succeed. Your success is our success. We're not just about fresh, customizable burritos and bowls. At Hothead Burritos, we're about helping aspiring entrepreneurs like you take control of your own success in this thriving, fast casual food industry. Hothead is a proven concept that is always focused on improving our store's bottom line.
That's right, Ray. Hothead Burritos provides a proven, turnkey business model with all the ingredients for success. With over 80 restaurants in 7 states, we know what it takes to run successful restaurants. We are actively growing and looking for franchisees in our existing states and the surrounding states. And we'll even consider expansion into other states with experienced operators on an accelerated plan due to our distribution and proprietary products.
We spent years developing our proprietary recipes that resulted in amazing flavor. We are focused on ensuring our distribution partners can bring those products to our franchisees in a cost-effective manner. Customers will come to Hothead for amazing flavors, amazing sauces, and amazing freshness.
That's so true. And when we're negotiating with a food distributor for items like our tasty marinated chicken, a product distributor for better cost, or with a landlord for lease negotiations, we know that everyone in business needs to make a profit, so we're always looking for those win-win outcomes. The 20 years I've spent in commercial real estate negotiating contracts for landlords and tenants, including some of our competitors, gives me the knowledge that I share with our franchisees on how to get the best deal at the best possible location. In fact, the very first Hothead Burritos location was in the shopping center I represented. 10 years after that store opened, I became a proud owner in the brand.
Kelly's brought a lot of high level of commercial real estate expertise to the Hothead Burritos brand and our franchisees, a level of expertise many brands do not have. Our focus on great locations has really helped our AUV, our average unit volume, rise. With the restaurant business being an industry where margins need to be in strong focus, keeping the rent numbers low helps put more money in the franchisees' pockets. With my business experience, I'm very focused on leveraging the size of the brand to get the best prices from all vendors like Pepsi, JTM, and many others to help keep our food costs low. We have developed what we call a labor matrix to assist our franchisees in scheduling the right number of employees for the sales volume in their restaurant for different day parts.
So speaking about store sales and keeping money in the franchisees' pockets, as a brand with a long history, we're able to show you those numbers in our franchise disclosure document. At the end of the presentation, you'll have all of our contact information so you can request an FDD, but here are some of the highlights on what you'll see in our FDD.
I think it's super important that a franchisor owns and operates stores. That's why we own 12 corporate stores, so we clearly understand day-to-day operations. The AUV for our corporate stores in 2022 was right around $849,000. For our franchisee stores, it was right around $704,000, up from 2021, and even up from pre-COVID 2019. We had a number of stores that did over $1 million in 2022, and of course, they were below average too. Most low volume stores have owners that are not focused on attentive to their stores. Most high volume stores have strong operators that are involved with their stores and follow our playbook.
I'd like to share with our viewers a number of the reasons that Hothead did so well during those COVID years. First, we were ahead of a lot of restaurants by having third-party delivery with Uber Eats, DoorDash, and others already in place. That allowed both our existing customers and new customers to find us on those apps while other restaurants were still struggling to get signed up. Plus, we were already doing 65% carryout in 2020, and that's grown to almost 75% today.
Don't forget about our online ordering and drive-thrus. 4 of our corporate stores had drive-thrus when COVID hit. A couple of our franchisees had drive-thrus as well. We really mastered our ability to handle customer orders at the drive-thru during COVID. While we don't require drive-thrus, we now encourage franchisees to find a location with a drive-thru if possible. We have data to show drive-thrus increase sales. Pre-COVID, we were already focused on increasing online orders, so all of our stores were already set up for online orders when COVID hit. We like online orders because we are able to control food costs better with more precise portion sizes and takes less time to make, which means less labor.
And we know a lot of other brands have those things too. So what sets Hothead Burritos apart from other franchise opportunities out there? Well, it's our commitment to fresh, bold flavors and a customer-driven experience. Our customers love the ability to create their own unique meals packed with their favorite flavors and ingredients. Vegan, keto, and even kids have plenty of options at Hothead Burritos.
And we make sure that every ingredient we use is of the highest quality because we believe that only the best will do for our customers and our franchisees. When you join Hothead Burritos, you become part of a family that's focused on fresh and flavorful food. You'll become a part of a brand that's all about delivering excellence. And speaking of excellence, let's talk about the support and resources we provide to our franchisees.
Our team at Hothead Burritos is a dedicated group of industry experts ready to assist you with everything from site selection to restaurant design to helping you get your store open as smoothly and as quickly as possible. Many of our upper management team has been with Hothead for over 15 years, and most have been in the restaurant business for 20 years or more. Our team will guide you through the entire process to ensure your Hothead Burritos location is set up for success.
Training is super important, not just for store employees, but for our franchisees. Our simplified operations and comprehensive training programs will equip you and your staff with the skills and knowledge needed to deliver the Hothead Burritos experience with confidence. You and your management team will come to us for your initial training, and then we will come to you when it's time to open your store. For ongoing ease of training for new employees, we have hundreds of videos, clear operational pages, and many wall postings. We're here to help you master the burrito business.
But our support doesn't stop when you open your doors. Our in-house marketing team is constantly working on both national and local advertising campaigns to help drive customers to your Hothead Burritos location. They leverage our relationships with Pepsi, Frito-Lay, and others to create amazing marketing partnerships for Hothead. When you need a mailer, a billboard, or other promotional piece designed, our team is here to do that for you. And we also hold monthly franchise conference calls to share updates and best practices. We publish a monthly newsletter, and we communicate via email for operational and product updates. Here are what some of our current franchisees have to say.
It's helped me and challenging me to push myself to do more. They've really affected change in my life. For my personal growth, with financial freedom, it's wonderful.
To me, I can either call them, I can email them. They are very, very helpful when it comes to getting stuff together for advertising. Having these stores, we get people that come in every day from high schools, from different sports, different activities for kids, whatever, that want us to do a dine to donate, that want us to do a promotion. I can call the corporate office at any given time, and generally they turn that around within 24 hours. I think that we have a very good working relationship with them. I know that, in fact, just sitting here for this meeting here, to be able to sit out there and talk with Ray and bounce some ideas off of him has been great today. So, they've been very open, very willing to help us out. But, I think that corporate has been very helpful in recommending things to do. I think that, being able to have them call you on a regular basis, say, hey, I see some sales have dropped here. Here's what we need to do to get those back up. Hey, Zach, do you have any questions or ideas that you can do? They've been very open and willing to do those ideas. But when you look at the corporate structure, and those people are still here 8-9 years later, the key people who have really helped the company grow, to me that's important. So, knowing that they're willing to listen and knowing that they care and knowing that they're willing to help out from time to time when you have a question is always important to me. It's, doing it for 8 or 9 years, we've seen a lot of changes and growth. It's like the same thing of talking about coming to see the corporate office has evolved and become larger. They've got more employees, they've got more advertising help from people that are inside the office. Just seeing the growth overall has been a fun thing to witness. Again, I believe in the product. That's why we opened 5 of them in 1 year. That's why we opened the ones in Florida. I think that being a franchisee and an area developer with the brand has been a positive experience. It's been a learning experience. But again, it has a system that's in place that I think is positive for growth of the company.
That's what being a part of a franchise system is all about. We handle all the little details so you can focus on providing great service and amazing food to your customers. We handle the product sourcing, the marketing campaigns, the operational instructions, the recipe creation, and evolution. We keep on top of food and healthy trends, researching the latest equipment and technology to keep up with the times and to cut operational costs. We monitor our marketing results and customer sentiment with tools like Moment Feed and Punch. We're always looking to better your bottom line by increasing sales and lowering costs. And we are open to hear from our franchisees' input and feedback. Many great ideas come from franchisees and managers working in the field.
Ray, now let's tell them more about the financial side of things. We know that is a super important consideration, and we take it just as seriously as you do. Our initial franchise fee is affordable compared to other brands our size at just $26,000. While the initial investment to open a Hothead Burritos restaurant varies, you're generally looking in the $450,000 to $500,000 range. Because this is an investment in your future, we encourage, but we don't require you to take an active role in your operations. Our owner-operators generally see a better return on investment because nobody cares as much as an owner. Hothead already has a strong brand and loyal customer base that you can build on to achieve financial success.
Absolutely, Kelly. For those concerned about competition, Hothead Burritos stands out in the market. We build a reputation on freshness, flavor, and more flavor. Our focus on customization, on high quality ingredients, including our 12 mild to wild sauces, keeps customers coming back for more. We like to think of ourselves as the sauce boss. When you join Hothead Burritos, you join a brand that outflavors the rest. And even in areas or locations where we have direct national competitors nearby, we can be very successful. It's not your average Mexican restaurant concept.
That's bad, Ray, but you're right. Another concern for potential franchisees are the ongoing costs. Royalties at Hothead are 6% of your sales, plus 3% of your sales towards brand marketing, of which 2% is spent locally in your market, and that's really important. Printing and shipping those really cool POP posters that advertise our products, creating Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok images and videos are all included in those marketing fees.
Our FDD covers a lot of that financial information and even our franchise fee discount for veterans. But now, let's address the big question. Why should you choose Hothead Burritos as your franchise opportunity? The answer is simple. Hothead Burritos provides you with a chance to be part of an exciting, growing brand that's passionate about food and committed to your success. With our support, guidance, and proven business model, you have the recipe for success right at your fingertips. So if you're ready to take the leap into the franchise business world, or you want to add to your current brand portfolio, we invite you to join Hothead Burritos. Family, together, we'll bring the heat, the flavor to your community and to communities across the world.
Don't wait. Contact us today and let's start cooking up your future with Hothead Burritos. Thank you for joining us in this special presentation, and we look forward to welcoming you as part of the Hothead Burritos franchise family.
And remember, with Hothead Burritos, your success is our focus.
We can't wait to see you thrive and grow with us at Hothead Burritos. Contact us now. We're really excited to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Ray. We are so glad that you were with us. We appreciate your time today. And now we are on to our next franchisor presentation, Twin Peaks. Joining us is Ray Bodner, representing the brand. Ray, welcome.
So, you're curious about what we've been up to recently. Well, to say it's been an adventure of game-breaking proportions would be selling it short. So we want to walk you through the Twin Peaks pillars that are essential to our brand and drive all of our marketing initiatives. Twin Peaks Girls. The Twin Peaks all-female waitstaff is considered the beautiful face of our brand. They represent the gold standard for the industry and are prominently featured in everything we do, from social media to Miss Twin Peaks. When guests think of Twin Peaks, the first thing that comes to mind is our friendly, attractive, and attentive Twin Peaks Girls. 29-degree draft beer. The most unique and marketable aspect of the Twin Peaks brand is something every man can appreciate. Our signature 29-degree draft beer, a claim no other restaurant can make. Served in perfectly frosted man-sized mugs, our rotating selection of fan favorites and in-house brews are the guest's trusted companion in victory or defeat. The Lodge environment. It's no secret that when anyone visits a Twin Peaks restaurant, they're immediately transported to an environment reminiscent of the comfortable cabin in the mountains. With natural wood tones and tasteful taxidermy, guests feel the familiar warmth any lumberjack would expect when walking into their local lodge. Our Scratch Kitchen. Twin Peaks never bunts when it comes to our menu. Whether you're strapped for time and just need to satisfy your hunger with a quickie lunch, looking for a happy hour cocktail, or a delicious, fulfilling dinner, our guests can expect made-from-scratch menu items. The Twin Peaks Kitchen not only sets the standard for scratch food, but also makes innovation a priority. Our consistent innovations like the Smoker program are constantly pushing the culinary limits and are capable of satisfying the voracious appetite of any Axeman. Sports. Twin Peaks may be unique in its environment, but we have always been the go-to game day destination for every fan. Because when it comes to sports, there is no substitute. Our customers come to Twin Peaks for many reasons, and the ability to see several giant screens exclusively dedicated to sports from any seat is second to none. We are always looking to create new, exciting, and rewarding experiences for the guests who choose to watch the game with us. These brand pillars led us to the Lodge mentality, a strategic brand campaign to remind every lumberjack, myself included, that Twin Peaks is more than just a sports lodge. It is the neighborhood destination where anyone can unapologetically indulge in all of their manly pursuits. Moving forward, we know that the Twin Peaks vision is to be a billion-dollar global brand with a cult-like following by the year 2029. Well, it is our goal to do everything in our power to continue elevating and strengthening the brand in order to achieve this vision. We want to inspire that inner lumberjack within everyone, from our internal teams to our guests, to embrace the Lodge mentality. We will not stop, we will not fail, and we will not falter.
Hi, that was an exciting video, wasn't it? Welcome to the Twin Peaks brand. My name is Ray Bodner. I'm the Senior Vice President of Global Franchise Sales and Development, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes with you today to talk about our brand, our exciting growth, and where we're headed in the future. You know, Twin Peaks is a brand that was founded, as you can see, in 2005. There were a few acquisitions in the last 3 or 4 years, taking advantage of our success, and have some exciting news here recently. Actually, just 2 days ago, we announced we're going to do an IPO, initial public offering, here in the next 6 to 12 months to really capitalize on our momentum and fuel our future growth. You know, it took us 18 years to open our 100th store, and that was 2 weeks ago in a suburb of Indianapolis, our second store in Indy. And so excited to hit that milestone. We've got currently 4 stores open in Mexico, and all the rest are here domestically. Our challenge ahead is, now that we're at 100, is to get it 200. And our goal there is to be there no later than 2027. And we will then see in our estimates, we will be a $1 billion organization. In that mix, we're going to expand internationally. We've got a unique global strategy that I'm going to talk to you about today, as well as our strategy with franchising here in the U.S. And if I could, I'd like to walk you through a little bit about who we are. Many of you have visited one of our 100 restaurants and enjoyed our scratch kitchen, excellent bar, and exemplary service. But for those of you that may not be that familiar with our concept, we call ourselves polished casual dining. We compare ourselves to competitors that are in the sports bar industry or market. And one of the things that really we put first and foremost in our brand is our scratch kitchen. It is a kitchen in which, you're not going to find anything frozen back there, maybe a couple fries, but other than that, a very robust menu items. And, the other thing is our beer, frozen beer, 29-degree Fahrenheit frozen beer. And this differentiates us because our customers know we will be the coldest beer in town. There'll be 34 beers on tap. There'll be some local varieties. And they really enjoy knowing that they're going to have a refreshing, cool beer. And obviously our Twin Peaks girls, we call them TPGs. And if I refer to TPGs in this call today, it's referring to our front of house service staff. Very highly trained, very motivated. 90% of the time, they are the highest paid waitresses in that 5-mile radius of that restaurant. And it's because they're out there servicing their guests and earning great tips, for themselves. As I move to this slide, you'll see what we call our secret sauce. What really sets us apart from other restaurant concepts in the casual dining or polished casual dining. And why are we 2 and 3 times more profitable than our competitive set? Number one is we realize that we're not just a great scratch kitchen, but we're a great bar. And it's a scratch bar. And what I mean by that is we're using fresh ingredients. We're using fresh sides. We've got very unique menus that all of our TPG bartenders use on a daily basis to really accelerate the experience. If you come into one of our bars, it's welcoming to anyone. You could get a $3 draft beer on special, or you could spend dollars on a very unique high-end cocktail with high-end bourbons and tequilas, etc. And just like we do that on the alcohol side, we do that on the food side. And you can come in and get something under $5 on our to-go orders, or you can, have a New York strip steak, bar food, smoked ribs. There's something on there for everyone. And while they're there, whether picking up to go or eating in our restaurant or just sitting down to have a beer, you're going to see the best TV system in the business. You're going to have on an average 50 to 60 TVs playing all sports all the time. Our goal is to have in every seat in the house a minimum of 3 to 4 different games or TVs that you can see at the same time. Now, this is the slide that we're super proud of this week. We opened our 100th restaurant, and we're not stopping there. We've got another 17 restaurants scheduled to open this year. And here it is, the middle of June. You'll see here our pipeline markets. And these are areas where we've already signed deals and have already started construction or the leasing program. And we anticipate, as I mentioned, 17 of these to open this year. Hopefully we can pull a few more in. International opportunity. We are unfortunately sold out in Mexico. For those of you that were interested in that market, we've signed a 32-store deal to develop all of Mexico. We have 4 open now. We'll open an additional 4 this year and kind of continue on that path moving forward. Some of the areas of interest that we've found this year, we've been to trade shows in Bangkok, Thailand, London, England. Obviously, shows here in the United States. And then I just got back last week from the International Franchise Show in New York. And that was a great show for us to really highlight our international strategy and where we're going. We know if we're going to double in store sale size in the next 2 to 3 years, that's going to have an international component. And our brand is being received very, very well around the world right now. So I'm very excited to talk to you next year about how we did on that international growth. This is a slide here domestically in the U.S. For those of you that, again, maybe aren't that familiar with our brand. The red areas and the numbers indicate open restaurants. And you'll see we've got a high concentration there in Texas, because that's where we started, in Dallas. High concentration in Florida. The red states are indicating territories that have been sold out. They not necessarily have all of the stores open yet, but the development agreements have been signed and executed between us and our partners. The green states indicate negotiations that are going on for parts of those states. For instance, I'm not negotiating all of California. I'm currently negotiating in San Diego, LA, Northern California, San Jose. So you'll get a feel for where there's been some excitement. Last week, being up in New York in the Northeast, everyone said, well, you're not here yet. And I said, well, that's why we're at the show. There was a tremendous outpouring of support from people that stopped by and gave us feedback on what parts of the Northeast we should start in. And then the West Coast. Obviously, there's only one store out there in California, and a lot of opportunity for us. As you saw with all of that exciting expansion that we have going on here in the U.S., obviously, it's not just signing franchise deals, but getting them open. So you as the franchisee can start earning the big money that our AUVs are showing out there today, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But we've been doing this for quite some time. We've got a dedicated architect, design, project management team, purchasing group that will help you from soup to nuts, A to Z, all the way along, to get your store open as soon as possible, because you want that cash register running. A typical site for us, for our prototype, we're on our 4th generation of our prototype currently. And in order to generate the revenues, as you see in our franchise disclosure document of $5.8 million, that's our average per store. We need the square footage to do that, to fill the seats, and the seats for people to sit on and order a beer and order a great meal. Our current prototype is 6,800 square feet covered up, and then an additional 1,800 square feet of covered patio with a secondary bar to help offset the demand on those busy UFC fights and big fight nights and big football games and soccer games when the restaurant's full. And one of the biggest things that we found in our looking for sites is making sure we have enough parking. We really need at least 150 parking spaces minimum in order to, make sure we can get all the guests in that want to come in and maximize your revenue as a franchisee. We're typically in larger markets. Within a 5-mile radius, we'd like to see 150,000 in population. And then during the day, we'd also, about 35% of our day mix is lunch. And what we need to make sure we're in a good spot where there's a lot of industry and business. And again, I typically like to see about 125,000 daytime population. We look always as everyone else does. Who else is in the neighborhood? Who do we play well with? Who plays well with us? We've seen lately in a lot of our openings this year, we seem to be close to a Topgolf, which it's fun. People are, eating, drinking, having a good time. We also seem to do well with Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop and some other large retailers that we can get into those specifics. We know every community and neighborhood is different. Those are just some of our success stories here of late. How long does it take? Once we have that lease assigned, we jump right in, and we're going to do an analysis. We're going to, of that specific region, of that town, of that municipality, just to make sure that we know everything that could go wrong before it does. Once you've built 100 of these, you've seen pretty much everything. And we're going to make sure that we make this as smooth as potentially possible for you as you're building your site. I talked to you about some of our prototypes. Those of you that are interested, and if you view this presentation, there's a link down here at the bottom left, and you can actually walk through. It's a 3D scan of one of our latest buildings that we built in Dallas, Texas. And you can actually walk through the actual building, see our actual employees, and really give you a good feel for what our prototype stands for. Again, this is Twin Peaks of the Future. As you saw earlier, again, we're always going to be true to our Mountain Lodge theme. We feel that theme has done very well all over the country and is getting great reception all over the world. It's taking yourself out of reality of maybe whatever city or state you're in and kind of transforming you to that mountain lodge where it's comfortable, fire pits, some tasteful taxidermy on the wall, etc. So that's just part of our DNA, and you can see that even as we evolve our prototypes into the future. As we were talking about Mexico earlier, we talked about the prototypes in the U.S. of, those are some big boxes. These are some of the locations that we have in Mexico. Some of them are about 2/3. Some are even half the size of our U.S. counterparts. But as we look to grow internationally, we realize that there are some real estate constraints in different parts of the world. And we have prototypes and we have the experience to, for instance, in Mexico, malls are still very prevalent. And we are seeing ourselves go into the right malls with the right parking and the right security. And those stores are performing extremely well for us. Now in the US, I'd say 70 to 75% of all of our stores are conversions. And when I say conversions, it's converting an existing Gen 2 restaurant or commercial space. We've done some commercial buildings and turned them into restaurants, but we and you as the franchisee looking to maximize your investment and get your ROI sooner, we look for sites that have an existing restaurant, Generation 2, already got a lot of the stuff in there that you would need with us. We've got, the hoods, we've got, the grease trap, we've got, parking, we've got ADA bathrooms. I mean, we really look to save as much money as we can with you. On average, and you'll see in our FDD, there's a range of how much it costs to, convert a restaurant into a Twin Peaks. And you'll see, that range could go anywhere from $1 to $4 million. We're typically seeing right now, because we're usually adding square footage to those units and to get it, the covered patio or to get additional seating, we're seeing on average about $2.5 million investment to convert to a Twin Peaks brand. Now, in terms of building from the dirt up, we're looking at, you'll see there's a range in the FDD, but we're right around 5 to 5.5 million is where we've fallen here post-COVID. And again, all of those numbers and statistics are in the FDD. So let's get to marketing. One of the most exciting things about our brand, we're always marketing something new, something fresh, an event. Obviously, it's not hard to market absolutely delicious, great food. Our scratch kitchen, everything made daily, all of our sauces, everything's prepared. If you haven't, please go to our website and view our menu. You'll click on the location nearest you. And even if you're up in New York, I get it, your nearest location is probably going to be Pittsburgh because that's what's going to open next week. But just click on the menu and you'll see there's a picture for every menu item in there. And you'll see the care that we've taken to putting that menu together. I talked earlier about the 29-degree draft beer. It's unique. It's iconic. It really sets us apart. And there is a method to the madness that when you come on as a franchisee, we will teach you. Sports. Who doesn't love sports? All over the United States, all over the world. Everyone's got their favorite team. And we'll have all those games on for you all the time for your guests. to really help you. And then obviously, as we talked about, our Twin Peaks girls, they are the front of the house staff. They go through an extensive training program. They've got a career path that will take them from hostess to floor to bartender to assistant manager to potential kitchen manager, all the way up into career pathing into our corporate office at our training support center. And it's an exciting place to work, and there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and the girls, as I said earlier, really do maximize their income with Twin Peaks, but they have a lot of fun doing it. We talked about sports a lot. I'm not going to hammer on that anymore, but if the game's on TV somewhere, we can get it on for you. Promotionally, when it's not the big game and there's maybe in between seasons of football and basketball and hockey, sometimes baseball season might get a little stale. We'll have different parties and events to bring our regular customers in. As I talked about sports partnerships, we do a lot with UFC over on the right. And we're constantly driving promotions through all of our digital channels, Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of TikTok on us out there, and obviously our own email and marketing systems. This is the last slide. I asked the team to put this together for us. It's not about what I say to you today, but it's about what everyone else is saying about us. And I think getting to 100 restaurants in this business is a big achievement. I think even bigger will be when we get to 200, when we launch our IPO here in the next 6 to 12 months. And now is the time, if you're interested in securing territory here in the U.S. to grow with us, or even look internationally, please, by all means, give Twin Peaks a consideration. I'd be happy to go more in depth with you on our franchise disclosure document and everything else that goes into making Twin Peaks Lodge one of the best in the industry. And it's not just what I say, it's what all of these other people have said about our brand. So I'd like to thank you for investing your time with me and our brand today. Here's some of my contact information. Feel free to call or reach out anytime. That there is my personal cell phone number, and I'll personally get back to you. Again, thank you for your time today. I hope you heard some things in there that got you excited and you wanted to investigate more, whether it's the IPO, whether it's the 11% same store sales growth this year over last, or our expansion plans. Please, by all means, reach out and I will get you all the information that you need. Thank you so much for investing your valuable time in hearing about the Twin Peaks brand today.
Ray, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time today. That was very interesting. And now we are talking to our next brand of the day, Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And joining us is Cheryl Fletcher. Cheryl, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mary Jo, and good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Fletcher. I'm the Chief Development Officer at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and I'm super excited to be with you this morning. Today, I want to give you a quick overview on who Tropical Smoothie is and share with you some of our incredible growth over the past 6 years, and then what's ahead for us in the future, and then all the opportunity that we have yet for the brand. But before I do that, I would like to share a quick little video with y'all on our success for 2022. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I do. It's so exciting. 2022 was another record year for us in openings, 158 openings. We've had 11 consecutive years of positive same-store sales, which has been incredible. And then the other thing with that comes is growing those AUVs, and our top 50% of our system are doing $1,025,000. So couldn't be prouder of what we've been able to accomplish with our franchisees and growing out the brand. And we'll share a little bit more of that with you throughout this presentation. So Tropical Smoothie was born on a beach in Destin, Florida, 26 years ago in 1997. We started serving smoothies, and just 2 short years later, introduced food on the menu in 1999. Today, really proud of that we've got more than 1,200 locations, so 1,235 franchise locations in 44 states around the world, around the United States. Soon to continue to grow, wherever that can be. But we only have one company location. And so what that means is all of the other locations are owned by our franchisees, owned by more than 475 franchisees in our system. On average, each franchisee owns 2.6 locations. So we've got a lot of franchisees to manage, and they're continuing to grow with the brand, which is phenomenal. Our support center is here in Atlanta, Georgia. And since 2020, we are affiliated with LLCP, our private equity group. So this showcases our incredible leadership team, very experienced leadership team led by Charles Watson, our CEO. He's been with the brand for more than 13 years. He's a phenomenal leader. And together with this team, we've got more than or nearly 200 years of restaurant experience. I couldn't be prouder to be part of this team, and we've accomplished a lot over the last 5 to 6 years together. Our vision and our mission at Tropical Smoothie is really simple. Inspire better. We want to be the most beloved restaurant brand by sharing the fun and craveability of the tropics. For us, Inspire Better means making a difference in our communities, making a difference with our franchisees, making a difference with our crew members and our team members, and also making a difference with our team members. Not only with our team members, but also making a difference with our guests. And that's really important. For me, Inspire Better can mean different things to different people. And for me, Inspire Better is really about setting our franchisees up for success, making sure that our franchisees are growing and they're growing in the right way. And so I put a lot of time and energy into making sure that as we grow as a brand, we're growing with quality franchisees in the system, and we're supporting them every step of the way. Our culture is grounded on 4 core values. First, relationships rule. This is extremely important to us because we're a franchise business model. We're dealing with over 475 franchisees, and those relationships are extremely important. Those people drive us in our decisions. Second, think bigger. Innovation kind of describes us. Being innovative and thinking outside the box. How can we be creative with our culinary, our limited time offerings, the technology that we have in cafes? How can we be more efficient and effective as we leverage those innovative technologies? Third, all in. Grit defines us. Now, for many in the restaurant industry, we know what grit means, especially over the past 3 to 4 years, right? And we're really good at this. Just being all in to support our franchisees day in and day out. And once again, setting them up for success. Our last core value is around high five. And high five for us means celebrate. Fun defines us. Let's not forget to celebrate those wins that we've had along the way and celebrate our people, because that's so important as we look back. Trust is our foundation of our culture. Trust, transparent, being open and honest, responsible, making sure we're responsive to our franchisees. Unique, bringing our whole self. Service oriented. We are in the restaurant industry. Charles Watson always reminds us of this. Making sure that we're serving our guests, serving our franchisees. And then last but not, tenacious. Tenacious really aligns well with being all in, having that grit to get it done. I'm really proud to be part of this brand where we're inspiring better together with our franchisees and our communities. In 2022, we announced a partnership with No Kid Hungry, giving back to America's youth. This couldn't be a better cause, especially being in the food industry. Really proud of what we've been able to accomplish in 2022 by raising with our franchisees more than $730,000. This year, we're off to a great start. We've donated or raised $400,000 already, so bringing our total to over $1.1 million. It's a great organization, and it's so nice to be able to say that we're giving back to America's youth. So like I said before, we're a franchise business model. We're 99.9% franchised. Our success is really driven by our promise and our commitment to our franchisees. So we how do we work with our franchisees? So we really kind of focus around three key areas of the business when we think about this. First one is care. Listen, understand, be transparent. For me, when I talk to franchisees, I always write down on a piece of paper, listen. It's so easy to forget to listen, and oftentimes that's all they want to know is they want to be heard. So taking that time to listen to your franchisees, understand what they're going through. Communicate is the second one. And this is being responsive, connect. Being responsive means you've got to return those phone calls. And sometimes in our busy world, that gets hard, but we've got to remember their business is 24/7, and we've got to make sure we're there supporting them when they need us. And the third key area is drive profitability. Driving profitability means that the decisions that we're making as a business have the franchisees' profit in mind. We want to set them up for success. And guess what? If we do these three things right, if we do care, communicate, and drive profitability right, franchisees are happy. They're engaged. They're making money. And guess what happens when that happens? They open up more cafes. They want to continue to grow with the brand. So this has been a big one, great to our success story of that commitment to our franchisees and our promise centering around those three areas. The other great thing about our brand is we continue to be recognized in the industry. So yeah, we've been growing, but we want to grow the right way. And it's being smart about how we're doing it. Franchise Times recognizes the smartest growing brands. Fast and Serious Award. We've received that award for 10 consecutive years. So super proud that not only are we growing fast, but we're being very serious and smart about it. On Franchise 500, we ranked number one yet again in 2023 as the number one smoothie juice category. That's the third year in a row. And the other award that I'm really super proud of, we've received 3 years in a row. It's called the Top Fun Score Award. This is an award that we won for Fran Data, and this is really around the health of the brand, the health of the franchisor, especially with the lending community. Our fun score is 920, the highest in the QSR segment. And that's been the highest for the past 3 years in a row. So super proud of what we've been able to accomplish as a brand and the recognition from that. The nice thing about our brand is we're not just a smoothie concept. We're really differentiated because we have both food and smoothie on our menu. It's a very diversified menu. 60% smoothies and 40% food. So it's a really nice balanced mix. And the other great thing about our brand is we serve across all day parts. We've got breakfast, lunch, snack, which is the afternoon time, and then dinner. It's just amazing. You can see here what our menu looks like. And one of my favorite things is to customize my smoothie. I love that sunrise sunset smoothie where I can add a little bit of yogurt in there to give me a little extra protein. So keep in mind, as you come to our cafes, you can order however you want. We've got supplements as well. And you can come any time of the day. The other great thing about our brand is we're convenient and flexible with our order modes to meet our guests where they are. We've got dine-in, we've got drive-through. Many of you may not know that Tropical Smoothie, 30% of our cafes are drive-through locations. To go, online mobile app, and we also have our delivery, which has been a big driver for us, especially when it comes to having that third-party delivery and branded delivery. Our food and smoothies travel well, and they're very conducive to this omni-channel model. Our strategic roadmap, I'm just going to kind of take you through this really pretty high level, but it's really built around 3 key pillars. The first one being increased brand awareness and trial. And this is leveraging our local and national media so we can build the awareness and drive traffic into our cafes. Another way that we're building brand awareness is we're growing out our cafes across the country. We talked about that 1,235 locations, right? Around 44 states. And so as we continue to drive and open up those cafes, that's building that brand recognition as people are seeing us out in where they live and work. The second pillar is provide a superior guest experience. And for us, one of our key initiatives this year that we're working on is around the speed and efficiency, making sure that we're providing, working on those initiatives to provide an exceptional guest experience. The team is also implementing a new labor model that they're rolling out across the system. It's actually in the test phase right now. And then we're also working against the front of the house and the back of the house initiatives to be more efficient with our operations, making sure that we're giving that guest that superior experience. Our third pillar, which really aligns well with the franchise business model, is to optimize the franchisee profitability. We're continuing to leverage our pricing model that we put in place a couple of years ago. This has been key to us. The other thing that we've rolled out was Synergy Suite. And Synergy Suite is a tool that we use for labor models, our labor scheduling, and then food inventory. And let's not forget supply chain initiatives. I know this has been a big one for everybody in the industry, especially in the restaurant industry, is making sure that we can manage our food costs, making sure that we've got supply in our cafes. And it's not just around food, it's also around our equipment. So the next couple of slides, I did promise you that we would share with you some of our performance over the last 6 years. And these are probably my 3 favorite slides. The first one being system-wide sales growth. Last year in 2022, we ended the year at over $1 billion in sales, $1.075 billion in sales. That's a year-over-year growth of 22%. Pretty impressive. So where is all this growth coming from? How are we just growing this brand? Well, We're growing it twofold. We're growing it with positive same-store sales that I talked about earlier, with the 11 consecutive years of positive same-store sales, and unit growth. So our AUV performance has been strong. We ended the year at $993,000 for our system average AUV. This is up 40% of where we were back in 2017. Relatively flat to last year, but very, very strong. And once again, I want to reiterate, our top 50% of our cafes in the system are averaging $1,025,000, 1.25 or more than 1.25 million. And year over year growth for us over the past 6 years has been 7%. So phenomenal growth from a sales standpoint. And then there's unit growth. Since 2017, we have opened 725 cafes. The other thing that we've done, in addition, you got to have a pipeline, right? You've got to have an opening pipeline to open up all those cafes. We've signed more than 1,400 agreements, many of which are with our existing franchisees. That's what has been fueling our growth over the past 6 years and continues to fuel our growth for the future. So incredible year-over-year growth of nearly 14%. This next slide showcases our U.S. map of where we're at today. Like we talked about before, more than 1,235 cafes in 44 states, with a pipeline of more than 800 projects, many of which are with our existing franchisees, 74% with our existing. And back in 2022, we did a white space analysis. How big could this brand be? What does our national footprint look like? From that analysis, we determined that we can have more than 4,000 cafes across the country. If you look at the map here to the right, you can see that the red states are where we've got more than 100 locations. So we've got a really strong presence in Florida, which is where we started, right? Virginia, Michigan, and Texas. We're really growing out in those markets and continue to grow out in the contiguous markets where we're already at. If you look at the map where we have the light yellow area where we have 10 or less cafes, you can see there's lots and lots of opportunity for growth. And this is the thing that excites me the most about the brand, is that we're just getting started. We've got a lot of runway for opportunity. So the next slide, or this slide and the next one, just kind of want to share with you a little bit about our terms of our franchisee agreement. It's a 15-year term with a 10-year renewal. The initial franchise fee is $30,000 and thereafter $20,000. If you're a veteran, it's $15,000. Royalties are at 6%. And then the national and local advertising combined is at 5 to 6%. Our ideal franchisee candidate, first and foremost for us, we're making sure that we've got the right fit for our brand. We talked about our culture earlier, and making sure that our franchisees, as they come into our system, are really aligned with the brand, the right brand fit, and they're willing to follow the franchise business model. The other thing is making sure that they've got business experience. We prefer to have restaurant experience, but we've also found that if a franchisee or a candidate coming in has that business experience, they certainly understand what it takes. And last, they've got to have that solid financials. For us, the net worth needs to be $350,000, which includes $125,000 in liquidity. This picture here is a picture of Army and Paul Rhodes. They've got cafes in Tennessee. They're actually in the process right now of opening up one of our military bases with AAFES. So excited to see how they've been able to grow with the brand. And we've got very compelling unit economics. Average AUV is $993,000. Average investment, now keep in mind this average investment is without a drive-through, is $440,000. And one of the key metrics that we always look at in our business is what's the sales to investment. And for us, 2.26 to 1. Our guideline is making sure that that's always better than 2 to 1. So being that we're 2.26 to 1 is really great for this brand. Very compelling unit economics. And the other thing about this brand is we have beautiful cafes, airy, tropical, the beach house vibe. You can see a picture here of the interior with the open kitchen and smoothie bar, the pendant lighting. It's just really fresh and exciting to come into our cafes. And not only that, we can do a lot of different building types. Our average square footage building is around 1,600 square feet. And kind of our sweet spot range is around 1,200 to 1,900. We can do end caps with and without drive-throughs. We do inlines, freestanding with and without drive-through. Our largest franchisee is the one who does a lot of the freestanding drive-through locations. And you can see here a picture of that beautiful building. And we also have done some non-traditional locations. We did airport location in Oklahoma City last year. We've got another one in the works for this year. So excited about that. Don't want to share that with you until we get it open. And then the other thing is we've got a number of locations. We've got 14 locations on military bases, serving our military, giving them the tropical smoothie that they want, giving them options and choices. So to kind of wrap it up, you know, what is the appeal of Tropical Smoothie Cafe? Well, we're a value-driven brand. We've got very strong, compelling unit economics. We're a franchise business model, and our franchisees are highly engaged, and they're continuing to grow with the brand. We've got a strong, experienced leadership team. And the piece that excites me the most is that we've got this national footprint with untapped white space. So it can be more than 4,000 units across the United States. So as our CEO, Charles Watson, says, we're just getting started, and we're really super excited to kind of share our story with you today. So thank you for joining us, and I look forward to any questions you might have about Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Cheryl, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate your presentation today. And now we are on to our last presentation of the day, Angry Crab Shack. And representing them is Frank Soccorsi, President of Franchise System Builders. Frank, let's hear a little bit about the brand.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Frank Soccorsi, and today I'll be presenting an overview of the Angry Crab Shack franchise opportunity. Angry Crab Shack is a full-service casual dine-in restaurant that specializes in seafood boil with bold Asian Cajun flavors that are unique to our brand and irresistible to our guests. We are a unique opportunity in a very overcrowded food segment that consists of lots of pizza concepts and sandwich shops, chicken places and burger joints. So great opportunity in this overcrowded segment with an opportunity like Angry Crab Shack. So very underserved category. We offer a very unique menu, which I'll talk about in more detail as we go through our presentation this morning. We offer affordable pricing, a very important component of our success. We've experienced consistent growth over the last few years, and these restaurants have posted just outstanding performance. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, the concept is seafood boil with bold Asian Cajun flavors, once again, that are unique to our brand and irresistible to our guests. You can see here that this is a very casual setting in our restaurants. We use only the freshest ingredients, including lobsters from Maine, oysters from the East Coast, shrimp from Ecuador, snow and king crab from Canadian and Alaskan waters. Very, very laid back environment. It's really a friends and family environment. This is seafood boil, and I'll talk about that a little more in detail in a few minutes. But you can see that things are served family style. The tables are lined with butcher paper. Everybody's got their bibs on. They use their hands for their utensils. And there are actually communal sinks in the restaurants because, this is a little bit messy. So there's an opportunity for folks to clean up as they go along. So when you come to our places, you want to dress appropriately, bib up, and dig in. We encourage our guests to tag our walls. Sign your name on the wall. Let us know that you've been there, whether you've been there once or you've been there 20 times. We encourage everybody to tag the walls because we look at this as our badge of success. So once again, the concept features seafood boil. That's the main item on our menu. And here's a great shot of how it's prepared. You choose the protein that you desire, whether it's lobster, crab, shrimp, a combination of whatever that might be. You can add other things in the bag, such as corn, potatoes, sausage, onions, and then you have an opportunity to season it and spice it and sauce it with one of our 7 sauces, and these are proprietary to Angry Crab Shack. These sauces are blended in-house, so you can choose the sauce that you want. We have 6 different spice levels, everything from very mild all the way up to extremely hot, if that's what you desire. And we have our menu structured so that guests can customize their menu. They can buy the protein by the pound, whether it's lobster, whether it's crab, whether it's shrimp. Mix in whatever fixings they want to put into the bag, sauce it and spice it to their desire. And then it's served in a bag like this, open on the table and served family style. And the seafood boil does represent, a significant part of our revenue, and it is the main menu item. But we also offer a full complimentary menu that includes bags and baskets, fried catfish, fried cod, fried shrimp, soft shell crab, grilled salmon, salads, burgers, chicken, fries and sides, and a full bar that includes beer, wine, and liquor. I mentioned earlier that one of the keys to our success is affordable pricing. So even though our pricing is very affordable, this is not low-end seafood. This is very, very high quality product, coupled with affordable pricing. And this is designed to attract families and to bring them back. We want to increase everybody's frequency of visits. So the fact that we serve a very high quality product, a very tasty product, something that's very unique, and we couple that with affording pricing and provide our guests with a flexible menu, that keeps bringing them back. And that's the key to our success. The average guest check at Angry Crab Shack, including a drink, is approximately $40. want to talk a little bit about how we got started, a little bit about our background. The concept was founded by Ron Liu in Mesa, Arizona in 2013. And by the way, Ron is still very active in the business, along with a very seasoned management team that includes the president of the company, Andrew Diamond. But Ron is a former NFL player. He played with the Houston Oilers before they moved to Tennessee. Also played with the Philadelphia Eagles. Ron was the first Asian American to play in the NFL. Ron has developed 5 concepts within the last 35 years, including Angry Crab Shack. And as I mentioned earlier, Ron's still very active in the business on a day-to-day basis. Talk a little bit about where we're at and where we've been. We started in Mesa in 2013 and started opening additional locations in the Phoenix metro area, with the first one in Phoenix in 2014, and then a surrounding suburb of Phoenix in Peoria in 2015, and another one in Goodyear and East Mesa in 2016. Moved to Tucson in 2017 and opened additional locations in the Phoenix market in 2019, as well as Huma, also in Arizona. And in 2020, we opened our first location outside of Phoenix in Orange Beach, Alabama. In 2020, we continue to open additional locations in Arizona. And in 2021, we put our first location in Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas, in Henderson. And as you can see, in 2022, we continue to open additional locations in Arizona, and also opened our first location in Texas, in Houston. And in 2023, we opened our first location in Atlanta, and I'm actually going to show a picture of that location in a minute. And we also opened our first location, our first international location outside of the United States, in London, England, in March of this year. We also have locations, coming soon, and additional, 2 additional locations in Arizona, 3 additional locations in Atlanta, Georgia, and a location that's scheduled to open in Seattle, Washington later this year. This brand, the performance of this brand is just outstanding. In 2022, the top 25% of locations, the average unit volume was $5,303,962. And producing average EBITDA for that group of locations of $760,820. Fantastic numbers, but the numbers for all of the restaurants are fantastic as well. The average unit volume in 2022 for all restaurants open for at least 1 year was $3,453,069. They produced average EBITDA of $338,153. And all of these details are provided in item 19 of our current 2023 franchise disclosure document. We include all of the stores in there that have been open at least a year. We go through each of their individual revenue and their EBITDA, as well as their initial investment numbers to build out the store. So a very, very detailed item 19. One of the things that we're very proud of is that we have some very long-standing relationships with very trusted vendors that allows us to deliver a very, very high-quality product to each of our franchise partners. And the fact that we've negotiated prices, months and in some cases, years in advance, allows us to, offer the best prices possible and to deliver, a more consistent product. One of the ways that we keep our initial investment down is by utilizing second generation sites. The photograph here that you see is one of our newer locations that opened recently in Atlanta, Georgia. This was a second generation site. In fact, all of our sites, with the exception, I believe of 2 of them, have been second generation sites, and the other 2 have been new build outs. But what we're looking for is a site that's 4,500 to 7,500 square feet with 1,200 square feet of kitchen space that includes functional kitchens and bars and properly sized utility and HVAC systems, that includes functional fire suppression systems. And all of these things help, dramatically reduce the build out cost, as well as reduce the construction time, which means that, you have a much less expensive startup and a much quicker opening. We have partnered with a company called Western Retail Advisors. They are an approved third-party commercial real estate resource, but you also can bring your own, to the equation if you'd like. If you have somebody that, a trusted partner that you work with in acquiring and, doing the build out, acquiring the real estate and managing the build out, we can work with them as well. But if you don't have that resource available to you, we work with Western Retail Advisors who help us with site selection, lease negotiations, the architectural and design services, procuring a general contractor if needed, and just overall product management. And once again, all of this, this second generation approach and an established relationship with Western Retail Advisors, all of these things combined help us reduce the cost, the build out cost, the construction time, all resulting in a less expensive startup and faster opening. So that's just a quick overview of the opportunity. What I'd like to do is play a short video for you at this time. And this video will feature a gentleman whose name is Mark May. Most of you will recognize that name. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Washington Commanders, as well as a former analyst with ESPN. But most importantly, he's an Angry Crab Shack multi-unit franchise partner. So at this time, let's take a look at the video.
First year when you get involved, when you almost get your entire investment back in your first year on one store, that's amazing. And that's unheard of, particularly in the restaurant business. If someone came to me looking for an Angry Crab Shack to invest, or a friend of mine, what I would do is I would show them the numbers, show them the ROI. If that doesn't convince you, take you to one of the restaurants, have dinner, see the concept, see what happens there, see how free-flowing it is and how much fun it is. But then when you look at the bottom line numbers, that's what's really gonna sell people. It's one fun thing about the Angry Crab. When you come, you're gonna have fun. The location, the people that work there, they make it fun. And that's the experience that you wanna have. If you're gonna go out and spend your hard-earned money, why not have fun and have great food at the same time?
We are a full-service franchisor, and we have a very extensive initial training program as well as ongoing support, which I'll talk about briefly in a few minutes. But our initial training consists of 5 weeks at our corporate offices in Mesa, Arizona, and that training is for you or your managers. We encourage you to bring 2 of your managers with you at least. That's our preference, is that it's you and two of your managers, or if you're a multi-unit operator, 2 or 3 of your top people that you expect to be running the operation. And the training consists of 49 hours in the classroom and 120 or 191 hours on the job. This is everything. These folks are going to be exposed to, everything in the back of the house, everything in the front of the house, working on the floor, running the bar, all of it, all aspects of it, working with the servers, working with the guests, but very extensive training program. And prior to your launch, as you near your grand opening event, we're going to have folks at your location. They'll be there a week before you open, and they will be there for the grand opening event, and they will be with you there, a week after you open as well. So there might be a little bit of flexibility on that. We might be there, 10 days prior, do the grand opening event, and spend another 4 or 5 days there, or it could be a week before the grand opening event and the week after. So, in addition to the initial training, there's ongoing operational support and marketing support. And the ongoing marketing support includes local and social media, charity functions, civic events, public relations. We have extensive public relation representation as part of your startup. And we always have an event happening at Angry Crab Shack, and that keeps people coming back. And Angry Crab Shack, it's a fun place to go, as you heard from Mark in the video, and people like to go there. So we celebrate occasions. In this instance, we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and we have celebrations for Mardi Gras, and we have celebrations for Halloween. In this particular instance, everybody got dressed up and put on their costumes, and we celebrate Mother's Day. One of the biggest days at Angry Crab Shack is Mother's Day, and Father's Day is big as well. And we support the holidays, the 4th of July, and events to support our first responders and our troops. In addition to the marketing support, we have a very seasoned staff, very experienced people at Angry Crab Shack in the operational department as well. That includes, training is available at the corporate level, but you'll work with our regional managers on site. They'll visit your locations. They're going to work with you on, ongoing profitability management in your restaurant. And what we're showing here, you can see one of the resources that's available to you is something that we call Crab Lab, which is Angry Crab Shack's online information and training resource, which gives our franchise partners access to everything there is to know about Angry Crab Shack. We're big supporters of our communities, and we're big proponents of giving back to our communities because not only does this build a lot of goodwill in the community, it brings a lot of clients, a lot of guests into your restaurants, and it's just a lot of great publicity. We support a variety of charities in the different markets that we operate. I've included a couple of them here: the Phoenix Children's Hospital, the Arizona Housing Coalition, the American Service Animal Society, the Veterans Association, Sunrise Children's Hospital, the American Diabetes Association, and the St. Mary's Food Bank of Phoenix, just to name a few. In fact, we've donated over $1 million to these charities through partnerships with nonprofit organizations, since we've been in operation. And in fact, we were the recipient of the 2021 Community Impact Award from the Phoenix Business Journal. The qualification criteria are pretty straightforward. We require an $850,000 minimum net worth, minimum cash of $200,000, prior restaurant experience is highly encouraged. But we'll take a look at your application if you want to pursue the opportunity. You don't have prior restaurant experience, but you have management experience. But prior restaurant and management experience are a big plus. We're looking for franchise partners that are customer service oriented, community and civic involvement minded as well. As you see from the previous slides that I showed, we're big proponents of supporting our communities. The total initial investment for an Angry Crab Shack ranges between $411,800 to $1,184,200, and this is for a second generation site, as we talked about previously. And in fact, last year our median initial investment was $538,000, and that includes the initial fee, the security deposits, leasehold improvements, permits, construction costs, point of sale system, audio visual expenses, all your fixture and furnitures, your opening inventory, your miscellaneous opening expenses, your professional fees, uniforms, and 3 months of additional funds that you'll incur in opening the restaurant. And once again, this total initial investment, the median range is $538,000 is for a second generation site these are premises that have been previously used as a restaurant. And of course, these amounts will vary outside of the United States. And we have a very detailed list of these items in item 7 of the franchise disclosure document. Just want to recap our initial franchise fees here, which are $50,000 for the initial location. If you decide to open a second and third location, those fees are reduced to $45,000 per location. If you decide you want to pursue a development agreement, your first location the initial fee is $50,000 US. Additional locations are $40,000. So this is reduced $10,000. And we have a significant incentive as well for first responders and ex-military personnel and so forth. The initial fee is paid in full when you sign your franchise agreement, and for your second for all subsequent locations, 50% is paid when the franchise agreement is signed. That would be for locations 2 and beyond, and the remaining 50% is paid when the lease is signed for that particular location. The royalty is 5% of net sales. Ongoing advertising fund can go up to 2% of net sales. It has been 1% of net sales since the company began franchising, and it's currently at 1% as well. But during the term of the agreement, it can go up to 2% with notice from the company. So how do you get a hold of us? Visit our website at angrycrabfranchise.com. Click on the Get Started button, and there you'll see a form. Just ask a few questions. You complete the form, submit it to us. It'll come into me or one of our people here, and we'll reach back out to you very quickly and get you up to speed. Or you can just simply call me, and my number is 586-907-6404. Well, that concludes our presentation today. So once again, thank all of you for joining us today.
Thank you, Frank. It was so great to hear a little bit more about Angry Crab Shack. We appreciate your time. In fact, I would like to thank the presenters of all of our brands today: Hothead Burritos, Twin Peaks, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and Angry Crab Shack. You can replay their presentations on franchisetimes.com. If you would like to be a brand that is part of a future franchise investment show, please contact Kevin Peach at kpeach@franchisetimes.com or at 612-767-3206. And thanks again for being with us. We appreciate you taking time out of your day. We'll see you in the fall.